Hi, I'm Jinx,
And I'm Delco.
and welcome to Anyland. Welcome to House on the Haunted Woods Trails 3. This is our third annual haunted experience in Anyland, and this video is our designer's commentary walkthrough. So, come on a journey of frights and fun with us as we go through the entire experience and giving our thoughts as we go on how we did it and what we liked and all the craziness as it comes to our heads. All right, I'll switch to my point of view and we'll get a little cinematic whoosh. All right. So first, coming in here, you are spawned, you are summoned here in the woods at a summoning circle. So you start right here facing the titular House on the Haunted Woods Trails. And of course, as we come in, we always like to have our Halloween party zone where we have masks you can put on and a nice fountain. It's very dark in here, so we might need...
I can grab a torch or something.
Yeah, maybe I guess eventually we'll have the flashlights inside anyway. Ah, perfect. Perfectly ambient. It also makes your avatar look nicer.
Oh, cool.
Because you show up better since you're all dark in the darkness. So, yeah, typical. This is the hangout area. There's nothing to be afraid of except the ticket booth, of course. So people can always come and just party and enjoy this bit of Halloween-y atmosphere. So, the first thing to describe is something Delco and I came up with in Anyland. As far as we knew, when we made this, nobody had done this before, discovered it. It's
Not like this.
not like this anyway, yeah. If you have a sub thing and you move it from one location to another untweened, then you instantly go there. You don't even cross the space in between. So it's really a neat way to do an instant teleport without, I don't know, just getting you there without transporting you there.
At this point, we hadn't realized the full potential of it.
Right. Because
Later on, we started using it to do seamless trick teleports.
Exactly.
Hidden teleports.
Yeah. Which came the year after and the year after that.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the first time we implemented it after we were experimenting with it. So, the ticket booth, famous ticket booth that we like to employ in all of our haunted experiences, one way or another. It's always a gag and everyone loves it and it's been great. So, here's this year's, I guess, the year of this. You go and reach, and you just, what was that? It's a monster. I'll do it again. And it just happens for a second. And Delco, if you want to do it, so I can film from my point of view here. He goes, reaches in.
Ticket.
And see, he just blips and disappears. There is a space underneath the floor here that when you're standing right here, you're on an invisible sub thing, and touching the ticket makes the sub thing instantly go down into the floor, into that red area with the monster, and then a split second later just pops you right back up. Both untweened actions, so it instantly snaps you there and back. So, always fun. We started using that a couple times in this world as we went, but in future haunted experiences, we were using it a lot more. So, yes, we have, also step back for the moon. We have the house, and yeah, it's very dark. I know it's not going to show up very well on video. You have to come here and experience it for real. You have this spire, I guess, whatever, with the blinking lights to show something's going on up there. And what you won't realize is up there's another window. You could actually go upstairs and go up and around and peer out and watch people, which is fun. It was a neat thing we did. So moving in to the house, you might hit the doorbell and nothing happens. It's actually ringing a doorbell far, far in another area of this world, which adds a little randomness. So we'll open the door and step in. and we have the foyer and a sign, because there are a couple places you can go around here, but a sign to tell you where you should be going if you want the full experience. The red door under Vigo takes you to what we call the PT hallway, because it has a very similar vibe to the game PT. And we'll show that later, like way later. Because that leads to the backyard, but that's where you're going to end up after the path anyway. So, should we show the bar?
Sure.
All right, so we like also more hangout spots. Oh, spider. Love that shadow effect. Yeah, we like more hangout spots before the spooks so that you can just come and enjoy the Halloween ambiance. So, a bar, take some shots. Delco's lit fire.
Yep, gotta include that.
Oh, it's so nice.
I always go crazy with the posable skeletons too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at this bartender. He's been here a while, I think. Also, there's a window here so you can spy on people when they come in. Oh, we're starting early tonight. Yep, and a little beaded curtain to much more Halloween-y area. Was this the first time we used the particle candles instead of the...
Oh, my memory's so hazy on that.
I know it's been a few years now.
We started using those in our initial prototyping of the Underground 2.
Yes, because that's when you made that.
Which, yeah.
Yeah, so we started using those. Because these candles just look so nice with the particle flame effect. And, oh, you know what? I think we did, because I had also started adding this gradient, the glow gradient, in the texture to make it look like it's actual wax that would glow. And then you can see it in the, like the red one here. Similarly, it glows red like it would with the flame. Pop, pop, pop. Cool. All right, moving right along to all the spooky fun stuff. We don't need to go upstairs. This statue does a fun thing when you look at him, but it's delayed, which is even more fun. I think it's delayed like 10 seconds. Poof. Where'd he go? Haha! And the act of looking at him again, he'll bop to another location and around. So I think he's going to pop over there. Yep, there he is. And then back. So fun little weird things that happen that just make you question your mind. So let's start the official path. As always, we did a final picture when we were done to show ourselves. And yeah, okay, so as always, we have the disclaimer, as always. And then this on how to turn off your helper light, as well as turn smooth riding on things. We found out smooth riding on things is mandatory when you're on sub things, when you're doing elevator rides. Otherwise, you could just kind of not end up going all the way through.
You will get stuck.
You'll get stuck.
Like in an elevator shaft.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
It will.
You need that turned on.
Yeah. So this, instead of just doing like a torch like we did previously, we gave you a few options for you to take and described them right here. The lantern, the flashlight, and the cell phone. So Delco made this awesome lantern. And then I reused the flashlight from Haunted Woods Trails 2. Very simple. And then I invented the cell phone, the spooky S13. God, that's dated now. The early scare warning app and flashlight. So you can hit trigger and it turns on a flashlight, of course. But whenever you are close to a jump scare, like a legit like loud noise or jump in your face, anything that we considered an actual jump scare in this world, a red icon fills up this flashlight screen and starts blinking, so that, you know, if you're a scaredy cat, you can kind of just keep this up in your face the whole time with the flashlight up and get that alert and then brace yourself. The other thing I want to mention about the flashlight and the flashlight of the cell phone is, despite being really nice, bright sources of light, because they create a defined circle of light, like a flashlight would, in the darkness, this kind of creates a scarier effect. Because
You get night blinded.
you get night blinded. Exactly. So you get night blinded in the darkness, and you're only seeing that. So now you're not seeing in your periphery anymore. Your particle effect. So it's kind of cheeky that it's helpful, but not. I'm going to grab the lantern.
Cool.
I guess we should proceed. Into the darkness, if you dare, and begin the path of scare. Gotta have some slightly cheesy, poetry.
Got it.
So this is where people punk out. In fact, we had to say, I said you need it because we mentioned that you need a lantern and a flashlight. So without this, it's just darkness. And with it, it's just really dark.
Oops, door closing on me.
Oh, don't let it do that. And then a turn, and then we get some creaking sound effects. And here we are in like a wine cellar. Very dark. Oh, who's that? Who just took out the lights and that candle. So, and it just turned out my light. So we did a little cheeky thing there too, where there are ambient invisible blocks that detect.
Put an easy tell nearby loop.
Yeah.
Every second it'll just tell it to shut off.
So you have to keep going in the darkness. I can't even keep it on right now. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And this broke, and stuff is here. And we have a little note. You can come and read, because we always do like jokes. This room is just 2 of the underground. Oh, I can't even see. It's 2 of the underground style mod rooms. There, I'll do that for the since filled with shelves, and then we made a zigzag, or Delco made a zigzag of shelving so that you had to zigzag through, which helps delay things as you get through. All right. Whoop. Blood arrows, gotta have them. Gotta. And we keep reusing the same ones because it's just great. It's almost like the added cheesiness sometimes of these haunted experiences, the real ones in real life that have sometimes cheesy things. We always reuse the same blood arrows. All right, so
It's not immersion breaking.
it's not immersion breaking at all.
Yeah.
Nah. So there's a red door at the end of the hallway. This feels behind the walls, which is the whole intent. You get the wood, and then would be like the back of something. So you start the house. You come in through the foyer. You go down, and immediately you've gone down into a dark, spooky wine cellar. And now, where are you going to? Well, a little surprise there. Trapdoor opens from the ceiling that most people don't notice is there, thanks to the darkness and stuff. And a head comes out screaming and rolls. And because this is a physics object, it doesn't always land the same way, which is fun.
So there's one scare that gets us, even though we built it.
Yes.
Through the time spent building the world, we come through and it always gets us. That's that one.
That's pretty much that one. It's because
There's
you're in a
always
dark
one.
hall, and we're always running through to get re-triggered. It does reset.
Yeah.
And because we don't even notice it's here, so we're like running through to get to the next section. And yeah, it's one of those things that gets us all the time. Sorry, lady. So one thing that made the house useful, I guess, is teleport doors, which I did a video on how I did these exact teleport doors. I'm just going to go boop, and that's all you need to do.
Welcome.
Oh, thanks. And you can see from how Delco just arrived, obviously we're below where we just came from. Teleport door is just simply you touch the handle, and there's an invisible named block on the floor right here. And when you touch the handle, it tells you to go there. send one nearby onto whatever. And then you can reverse it as well. We did that so that we could break up some of the line of sight stuff and the rendering, because this was before Show-At was widely used. I think Philip added Show-At while we were making this, because I think I screwed up the ceiling in here that one time with being a sub thing. So the other thing we did also is, since we were separating sections of the house for the rendering distances so that things wouldn't render unless you were actually near them and needed them to be, we also separated things by a length of the roll-off of sound. Sounds you make yourself or your voice. So that's why it's so far below and you just zip down. Yeah, so here we have a butler, and this is in my style of boxy heads, because that's how I create things.
It's efficient.
It's very efficient. I'm not very good at round heads and round body parts. I don't know. I've always just appreciated the low poly squared off artistic style, so keeping with that, it works. Oh! Forgot about that. I guess you and I aren't threes tonight, or
Nope,
fives.
didn't ring for me. It was 5.
It was 5. Let's explain that now while we're here. Before we proceed to the dining room.
Welcome.
Thank you. Again. We'll be here a minute, all right? All right? Okay. We did a sneaky thing in this world. This isn't the only world we've done it in, but this was the first time we did it, and did it to good effect. When you spawn into this world, into House on the Haunted Woods Trials 3, you are secretly randomly assigned a number between 1 and 5. It's a personal number for you every time you come in. And we have certain extra effects that happen if you were assigned a 3 or a 5. So 1, 2, and 4, you just get the normal experience. 3s and 5s get bonus effects. Usually sound effects. I think it's all sound effects, right?
Mostly sound
I think
effects,
it's mostly, yeah. So one of those is all of these telephones, this exact model shows up multiple times in the house, will ring loudly multiple times.
It's loud.
It's annoyingly loud. Enough that when you hear it, you jump because it is loud like that. But also you'll be like, oh God, the phone's ringing again. Oh, it's so loud. Why is it doing that? And then everyone else in your party will be like, what phone? It's not ringing. Making you once again question your sanity. It's so much fun. Yeah, so all of those phone models will do that to a certain number, and then some doors will have extra sound effects behind them, and there are some other things. So since neither you and I rolled a 3 or a 5, folks can come in and experience the madness, the extra madness themselves.
Come see it for yourself.
Yeah. All right, so this is the dining hall, and I wasn't sure it was going to be a dining hall first. I liked having the checkerboard pattern, and I think the top parts were inset a bit. I was kind of going for like a Doom, Alice Madness Returns kind of vibe, and it was going to be like you had to step on certain squares, and certain other squares would trigger a weird effect. That it just didn't mesh. It didn't vibe right. So we decided to go with the dining hall. And as we walk in here, spikes and the wall closes in, and it stops uncomfortably close. Chandelier goes, and the ceiling comes down. Oof. You can make it to the door on the other side. I mean, you can run and go there. But the bonus, the extra cool, the best effect is winding up in this closet in the pool of blood. Like, what happened? What did happen? Yeah, how'd that open this door? And that's the door that you could have gone at the end of the dining room hallway. So, I don't know, there's not much to describe about that effect. It's all done with sub things. And the ceiling itself is when touches face, then send one nearby onto. There's an invisible block in that closet. So, whoops, keep doing that. That's pretty straightforward. It's just a sequence of events, of tells, And like, oh, when this happens, when you get in, trigger the walls, and then when the walls close and stop, that goes to the next state, which triggers the ceiling light. This chandelier breaks. It just does one of those, when destroyed in parts effect. Super easy. It resets itself too. And then tells the ceiling to come down. Super easy. So we're in this room. It's kind of a little lounge room. There's a card game going on, and 2 skeletons. And hey, guys. Oh, hi. Yeah. I love that. It's so loud. Appropriately loud.
Yeah.
But your sequence of the skeletons doing that, I love so much.
Yep. Falls asleep. Accidentally pulls the trigger. Because, who doesn't have a cocked and loaded gun?
Yeah, just, when
with
you're
their
chilling
finger
on
on the
couch.
trigger.
No trigger
Just chill.
discipline at all.
They're skeletons. It's foreshadowing that they're going to die.
Nice. Yes.
Mhm.
Don't drink and shoot, folks.
Yep. Smoking gun.
Literally. Yeah, card table. Obviously, somebody got mad. We never determined, was it these 2 skeletons who got mad playing the game, or
Well, you made this, I made them, so
it just was a coincidence?
yeah.
In here, the light pulses brighter and dimmer. It's kind of a pink.
Oh, yes.
And I like that effect because I couldn't decide. I kind of wanted color lighting in here, but then when I was doing it, it was too obvious that it was colored lighting and too bright.
Yeah.
But this pulsing effect is kind of nice. And keeping it dim, as always, as we do in these worlds, lets us do the candles that are emitted lights and actually glow up the walls and doors and stuff in there. Yeah. So Tobin's Spirit Guide, gotta have it. I mean, we have to have
Always.
a Tobin Spirit Guide somewhere in the worlds. And this nice closet, right? We'll just just a normal closet. Oh! Just a skull falling down from the ceiling. Now, what's fun is you didn't see that, right?
It's personal.
Right. He programmed it personal, so when he does it, I won't see his skull fall. So weird. That's skull there.
Actually, I didn't see it.
You didn't? Oh, is it personal, but it's still on a reset timer?
Yeah, I think only one person can see it.
At a time. All right.
It's one of the things that's meant to make people look crazy.
Yeah. Like, oh, did you see that? No, I didn't. Nobody did. So, after you've explored these bits, you see the ominous 4 candles in front of the door. Oh, side note, you made the radiators. And I've said this multiple times when we were building, and since building other worlds, the radiators, just adding them into rooms just adds a slight bit of, yes, that should be there. This would be an old house.
Anything that can make the wall more than just a flat plane helps a lot.
Yeah. And we're always throwing couches and random chairs and bookshelves of, I think I have 3 or 4 different types of book arrangements in the bookshelves. But it's just reused, throw them on. All right, let's go in here. And I love this effect. I over-engineered this. I'll step in. I completely over-engineered this because it's a void on the outside. It's an invisible bridge, and it could drop things down. It never needed to be that engineered because you can also throw things and they just vanish into the void. And I love the door lit, but nothing behind it. No, you can't even tell. You're just a door in the void.
Ever since we discovered the Vanta Black, as we call it.
Right.
Because you have the basic inner glow black, but the problem with that is that you can context laser it. And it gets highlighted
like that.
when you do that.
Oops.
Vanta Black being the... what is the actual name of that material?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, but it's usually like the inverted material, so things through it have this inverted effect.
Right.
Black, with using that material,
you can't see it. It doesn't take any light.
You can't see it. It doesn't get how you don't highlight it when you.
I'm clipping into it, and you can't even
take light.
Oh yeah, and
It has some other properties that I've forgotten about right now, but it's very useful.
yeah, because you context laser, you can still get the name of it and the creator, etc., but it doesn't highlight it at all. Yeah.
We use it a lot. I'm not gonna say we use it too much.
No,
because it's so useful. But we use it a lot. I use it on my avatar.
Yeah, well, I
get
mean,
my face looking like that.
right, which is solid, but
No
which is
light.
great. We've used it for sky as well.
Yep,
When
it's
we've
good for a
needed
skybox.
yeah, because it's also
When you need
basically
to
infinite.
hide stuff above you.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go down here because if seeing my teleport beam, you could see off to the side. It only goes so far. So we go straight through here. Again, you can see it's a void. Okay. Well, let's open the door. And it's a room. It's a room in the void. Come on in. Same thing. It's freaky. And where are we? We're an electric chair chamber.
Of course.
And clearly some sort of weird asylum-y thing. And we've got people watching. You're here for the show. And this guy is watching. Very concerned. What's going on?
People with round heads, I've just realized. I never
Yes,
realized
because they're weirder.
that. They're weirder, yeah.
They're more weird that way.
Change the art style.
Exactly. So, what is it? You're gonna go there, and that should be fairly obvious because it's all boarded up, and there's literally nowhere else to go. Two little hints, or Easter eggs, I guess, in here. The observer, the guy in the hat right there, from Fringe, as well as the red and the green lights from an episode of Fringe as well when they blink. So you're in this room. There's no exit except where you came, and obviously you can't backtrack because there's nowhere to go. It should be really, really obvious what you need to do. The horribleness. Would you like to throw the switch?
I'll throw the switch.
There's literally a switch.
Oops.
You electrocute the dude. He fries, doing a cartoon skeleton effect. Smoking. All the people are gone. And all of that...
They saw what they came to see.
Exactly. They got their show. And this broke out. And now we can proceed on up the stairs. Now, these will reform, I think, in 30 seconds or so after. This switch will knock them out again in case... Here we go. There. So that, if you get separated... And we just watched the guy reset. He doesn't do it untweened. That's funny. Because he naturally decayed after 30 seconds. All right, so going here, another teleport door. And we're in a hallway. Yep. Oh, and you can see we're below where we were. We take a step forward. And all of these cool purple torches, I guess, light up. And now there's a beholder at the end of the hallway. Kind of freaky. Also, I love how this kind of has a UV light feel. This feels very, very almost cliche haunted house like experience. And you step about here.
Yep. I memorized when that jumps at you.
Yeah, it's like just before
I never let this
this
one get
arch. It's freaky when something that big comes flying at you in VR at that speed. And you don't know what's going to happen. And it's not like I totally reused that this past year. Just a different color guy. So now we're in a hallway, and it's another hallway. A different style, which is nice. Again, kind of cliche haunted house where different hallways are completely different designs. So here's an elevator. Oh, high five. And it's out of order? ? Indeed. And we'll see why in a little while. Because we actually designed this house in logical floors, up and down. Even though it doesn't make a lot of sense if you were to fly out into the void and just look at how everything's laid out. walking through, it does have a logical kind of layout where certain floors are above each other. We go down an elevator later, not this one, not even this elevator shaft, and we go the underground space, and then you come back up another elevator, so it all makes sense where you end up. So yeah, here we have the black and red striped hallway. This door obviously is locked. Okay, so we can't go in there. Radiator, nice. This one, right?
Yep.
Yes, okay. Here's a nice, red room, the kind of mustard bed sheets, and it's a big teddy bear. And unlike House on Haunted Wood Trails 1, the Hugo house, this is not an evil teddy bear. No. This is a normal teddy bear. As you can see, his eyes don't light up red. He doesn't look at you and follow you. It's just a normal teddy bear. Live, laugh, love. Yeah, that's scary. We all know that's pretty scary.
Terrifying.
Here's another phone. If we were 3 or 5, it would ring. And let's check out the closet. Are we ready?
Okay.
Oh, just a normal kind of closet. Let's come in. Do you want to see what's beyond there?
Sure. Another fringe reference.
Oh, yep.
Kind of loaded in the fringe references.
Yeah. The double F's back to back for the other side. All right, well, let's go here. Oh, it didn't do anything.
It's locked.
Oh, it's locked. Oh, that makes sense. Why, secret door locked. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's Oh, yeah. Okay. Die. Door opens. Teddy bear, evil, floating, hovering. The whole room's trashed. How did you do the... And we got the peeling wallpaper. I like this effect. We didn't use it enough. But when we step out here... Wait a second. This is the door that was locked. How did we...
That was, sort of the beginning of my obsession with writable subthings. Untweened writable subthings. That, yeah, I use that a lot.
Yeah.
It's usually sort of a fallback if I don't have any ideas. It's just like, do the trick teleport and, give them like the impossible
situation.
Room transition.
Actually, yeah,
It's fun.
Run through it here.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll film it from the other side.
So I go in here.
Yep. He hits it, he's gone. And then he should jump out. There you go. The door wasn't open for me yet. Yeah, that's right. More of that psychological manipulation that we do. I don't see the door open, but you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, rideable, untweened something change move.
This one's a 3. If you're a 3, this door
it growls or something, and there's a knock.
Oh, no, it's growling.
Oh!
Never mind. That just happens regardless.
I heard the banging. I didn't hear the growling.
The growling must be a 3 thing.
Okay. So, obviously the end of the hallway, there's this metal fencing, but there's a blood arrow. But there's a blood arrow here. So, obviously you're going to go here. All right, so another bedroom, kind of boring, kind of normal, you think. And I'll go ahead and the closet door's already open, further leading you in, so you don't have to wonder where you're going. And it's a mirror. And you're like, what? Wait, what? But I'm not, and you're not, but it's clearly a mirror. I mean, it's perfectly mirrored, everything. In fact, we went through a lot of testing to make this look convincing. So even the step through the looking glass, Alice, on the glass, well, wait a minute, there's no glass. What the? So if I step through, you were on the other, wait a minute. Hold on. So it really gives the person who steps through a feeling of stepping through a mirror and ending up on the other side, which is really fun. And I used the mirror effect a few more times in future worlds because it's just neat. Because all you have to do is make the room on the other side, but literally mirror everything on the other side. I probably could have done it easier just using actual symmetry with like the coat hanger and stuff, but
Maybe.
whatever.
This is walkable.
Oh, that's walkable.
It's always something.
Yeah, we try very hard to make sure that props and furniture and miscellaneous stuff is set to unwalkable or even uncollidable if it's not necessary.
Yeah.
But we forget sometimes. It happens. And this world predates our like push to make everything uncollidable that doesn't need to be collidable. So probably these candles are even collidable. Yeah, I can feel the dot hitting it. Because in future worlds, we make all this uncollidable. And like the pillow would be uncollidable and all that stuff. Just to minimize how much work Anyland has to do as far as detecting collisions and processing power. Because I'm getting, let's see. I'm getting decent frames in here. Look at my
I got the
FPS
drop
here.
frame, so I'm getting like the.
Oh, you are
itch
getting the blip?
every now and again.
Well, that's good for filming that I'm not.
Yeah.
So let's move along. And now this fence has opened up, and actually you could hear it happen when you step through the glass. So I was over talking it because I'm explaining things, but you definitely can hear it coming from here. There's a metal sound. So now we come in as a metal door into this weird room with some vents and a big lever. And here's a question. Do you want to hit that? And I'll stay for the sequence.
I'll hit that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Hit the big lever. And then if it
Bubbling.
steps, we hear bubbling. The door slams closed. Blood's pouring out. We start, and then we start floating up. Can you get it?
Grab this.
Okay, cool. We split. So now I'm clearly laying down on a table somewhere, and I arrive. So, Delco hit the trap door, which takes him right here. And then I instead got the death animation sequence, which, like this guy, who also probably didn't, there's somebody in one of these.
Yes, there is.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So now we've arrived in some sort of weird, I don't know, morgue, basically.
Yeah, real quick. I'm trying to remember how I did that
The whole sequence?
blood thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The sub things.
So what happens? You don't move at all. I don't put you on a sub thing or anything.
Oh.
What happens is you pull a lever. The room fills up to about waist height,
Yeah.
chest height maybe.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
And then the walls and ceiling around you start moving down. And it gives the illusion that you're moving up, but it's actually the room around you moving down.
Aha!
And
Wicked.
yeah, I made that very complicated.
Yeah.
Probably didn't need to. But
It took you a while
I
because you
just
were
wanted
going.
the blood, because you can't reach that trap door otherwise. You have to be lifted up first.
Right. So if you don't hit the trapdoor, you end up in. I'll just show it here. Look familiar? Without the girl. A copy of this room rotated 90 degrees so that you are standing on an invisible platform here with your back to this. So this whole room is rotated this way so that it feels like for a moment, and you're only there for a moment, 3 seconds, I think, 4. It feels like when you look around and see everything rotated, like you're laying on a table, this table. So that when you come out of there and come in here, you should recognize, like, wait a second, oh. So this old school looking medical room, I'm super proud of, because we looked up some images and then just went to town with it. And I think it came out really good for what we were aiming for.
Yeah.
And we imported a few old school phrenology, lobotomy images. Ugh, all right. UAC box for fun. Always, nice to put a Doom reference in. Cabinet. You put a whole bunch of fun bottles and that huge
Shot glass
needle.
Oh yeah, putting a shot glass in there. But
I didn't do it. Must have been you. Yeah. Of course. Ugh, the needle. The needle with the tiny blood dot on the edge.
that is so subtle.
It's so subtle, but it's great.
Mm.
Yep, and continuing the trend of just making NPCs for the heck of it, I made this freaky nurse. Some people actually freaked out by it and walk away from her. She follows you, but she's always also looking down, which makes it even freakier. And if I can get it, the teeth. I like how it's just the crazy teeth. Yeah, anyway, moving along. So after this medical room and the morgue kind of thing, we have the asylum hallway. It's dark.
Mm-hmm.
You can even see the fog effect to give it a little more creepiness and a bunch of doors. So if I step in, I get the flash of all the previous inmates. Super freaky. We'll get to the elevator, but because of the previous hallway, the blood rose up in that room, and you went up through the trapdoor. Well, you did. I got killed. And the trapdoor was here. You could tell that this floor is immediately above the floor we were just on, the red and black striped hallway. So, which one should we go in first? 'Cause you can look in these rooms, and some of them you can actually go into. That can't be good. He's got straitjacket. He's all curled up, fetal position. He's got the growling sounds. Which is actually Delco, because we recorded some sounds, and Philip was gracious enough to import them into Anyland for us and for everyone to use. So that's one of them. The growling, with your dark elf, deep growly voice, which is cool. These asylum rooms are all copies of themselves. I made them so that they were just duplicates, and so every edit I made did it to each other. The floors and ceilings are straight. The walls are slightly angled. You could barely tell. And then the textures that I put with the circles are all rotated slightly. So the whole thing is supposed to make you feel just a little off. It's supposed to be subtle. I can feel it right now. It feels like things are angled. All right. Moving right along to this one. Oh, look. Friendly come in. All right, we'll do that. We'll pull. And here we have some madness. I love the madness when we're doing asylums. Everything will be okay. Just take your medication. Dedication dead. Am I dedicated? The hash marks for how long the person's probably been in here is fine. Going crazy. All that stuff. And yeah, he's probably not fine. Yikes. Don't put needles in your eyes, folks. It's not good. All right. Ooh. Straitjacket. Ugh. This one? Yeah.
Yep, that's
Nice.
the skeleton one.
So, this
We both
guy...
did the same bit.
Yeah, oh, right, because you set up the skeleton, and then I set up this. So, in this case, yeah, nice. He comes up immediately because there's nothing actually to see in there except skulls. And just when looked at, right?
Yep.
Pops him into place. With this guy, it's the same thing. I'm trying to look sideways so I don't trigger him. So you can see it oh, here's this guy with a big mustache and bright red eyes. And when you look in, he looks at you. He goes lunging at you with a crazy face. I love watching people practically fall over when that happens on either one of these. Oh, trigger him again. Ah, all right. So, moving along here, we have...
Is this?
Yep.
Yeah. That is why did... Okay, so I made... That is a 6th house totem prop from Elder Scrolls Online.
Right.
And...
The Dig Other meme.
Yeah, put a meme in there.
Because we were talking about pumpkins and gourds, and it's, I'm a gourd. How can you kill a gourd? Instead of I'm a god. How can you kill a god? I love it.
Yep.
So in here, I'd give it away. Crazy guy with a pumpkin on his head saying no over and over. No.
Your voice?
No. It's my voice saying no with it changes the pitch every time it happens. And then a fun thing on the wall, you should not have come here. You are now cursed, Jinx. After you look at it, it puts your name in there, which I love doing the effect with own person tags. All right, so here we're going. The hallway, I remember making this hallway and not being able to decide on color scheme. Remember I was trying many different colors and I wasn't happy with any of them. And I guess I finally settled on green with green stripes. One thing I will point out as a designer commentary is the single texture that I used for the walls. I got the light green and the dark green, but the one texture with the stripe I lined up so perfectly that there's a little stripe on the bottom, a middle stripe here, and the stripe at the ceiling, which is actually clipped, split in half. So instead of having to do an extra part overlaid for each of those to do a floor runner and a ceiling runner, it's just texture. So I saved a lot, by doing that, by being inclusive. I love that lamp. Okay, so the elevator up ahead. Creepy ghost girl with the hair has made similar scene in some horror movies, but that's why this elevator is not functional downstairs. But hey, there's another elevator up ahead and a wall bricked up. Help me. There's somebody in there. They need help.
Really?
Yeah. Can we? Nope, guess we can't. All right, well, we'll go in this elevator. Yeah? And the elevator's broken, but it blows up this. I love it when the physics do that. And, it's a skeleton. Wait a minute, how could he have been talking? I like that from Bloodborne. There's a section in the Cathedral Church area where there's a door, and you knock on the door, and the guy says stuff, and you eventually get the key, and you come unlock the door, and you go in, and you find a skeleton on the chair, and you're like, how? It's just one of those freaky things. So again, we're behind the walls here. The wallpaper here is all peeling with the nice 3D effect of the bump outs. This, I guess I should explain how we did the peeling wallpaper style. Green wall, flat, and then light gray. I'll just grab it from here.
I don't even know what we call that shape.
I don't call it. It's like the crinkled square.
I think it's the rough square, the rough sphere.
Yeah. So you make it big enough and give it a little stretch, but not too much stretch. And then you overlay it just enough onto the flat wall so that it just sticks out a little, giving a totally random look that you can't really get with textures. And then, light went out. And then grabbing some triangles of the green matching the wall or the gray matching the behind the wall, and just overlaying them like they're peeling and falling down. And it's just random enough and just good enough, as I say, just good enough to give that effect of like peeled wallpaper that you'd see in horror games in old places.
Yeah.
Blood arrow, classic. And a tight hallway that you're just expecting a jump scare. Like tight, narrow hallway, long, can barely see at the end. Probably can't see it on film even. Yeah, some squeaky mouse sound effects. And there's no jump scare. just a moment of tension. Spiderwebs. Your really nice spiderwebs from Haunted Woods Trails 2. And one of my clunky big part ones just for fun. I put Pull Me on because it might not be obvious to people. I mean, you have 2 torches, and one's lit and one's not, and then you have this wooden wall. You'd think it would be obvious. You're in a haunted house, duh. But we put this Pull Me sign anyway. You just have to touch it. And it's a rotating bookshelf from the back side. Ta-da! It'll stay and then it'll revert. It actually doesn't spin all the way around. It spins back. Ta-da! And you see that's going back into position because it matches. Go ahead. Ba-doop. Set it back. Beautiful. The only trick to making a rotating bookcase is putting your sub-thing controller dead center of the bookcase when you add the bookcase in position. So I put the bookcase in position, and then I find its center point, and then I mark it, and then I put I usually use like a flattened cone at the time, right there, and add it, and then make it just rotate, and then rotate back, which is easy. That way you don't have to worry about it rotating off center and stuff. And then I put the circle on the floor to mark it out, just to make it a little more obvious. I just thought it would fit. And another teleport door. And if you did watch my teleport door tutorial, this is where I did the teleport door tutorial in this, what I call the living room of our house. Deep in the house of the mansion here. First thing, let's get out of the way. The guy who's going to jump out at us. The freaky guy. The sound effect is the creaking door sound effect reversed.
Clever.
Yeah, it just makes it weird. That guy, he actually took a lot more animation attempting than I thought it would to get his arms and his head to go and make it look like he was really jittery and unnatural. I went through a lot of that because as I was doing it, it looked too smooth or too natural. So I wanted the more jumpy style with untweened. But yeah, he's under the ground normally. There's a trigger point around here. He's told to move forward, and his arms and stuff are always animated like that the whole time. And then when he gets to a certain point at the end state, he just untweened back under the ground where he will live in perpetuity. Okay, so living room, that's a picture I drew. We've seen before, just big now with a bit of a glow to make it show up and look nice. Couches with the coverings on them using vertex editing, just you'd expect it in a haunted house. Just that's all I got to say about that. Wallpaper is just, I think it's a concrete style or the stone.
Yeah.
But just, again, to make it look like it's peeling and really, really old and needs to be painted or something. Just threw that up all over the place. This is a cool hangout spot also if you make it this far. Because it is like a living room with couches, and we have a bar, and then we have, the candy corn, the haunted candy corn. To give it a feeling more that you are not deep underground from where you started, because you are, if you knew where we were at the moment in the void of this area. Big window with curtains, big curtains. Obviously it's night, so the window's not glowing. I mean, that just makes sense. What else should we talk about in here? This guy, if you look at his arm, I think... Ooh, he's not triggering for me. Is it a 3 and a 5 thing? His arm will, go up and then, crack like he's got rigor mortis.
Oh, yeah.
And then, there it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's been stabbed, and his neck was slashed. This poor guy. Yes. And haha, here's the guy who came lunging at us like a ghost. It was actually hung. The bar, of course. I love just making bars. And the sink is not pouring water tonight. It's just a really nice little particle effect. But it's the sound effects that make it. Not just the running, but the squeak. Well, it's got to reset. The sound effects go a long way when we make our things to really sell it and convince the immersion. It's all we got.
That's all we got.
That's all we got. So finally we're going to have a bathroom. Yep. That's an ugly bathroom. And we step in. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. I love this. I keep referring to him as the Ghostbusters ghost because he reminds me a lot of the real Ghostbusters cartoon that I grew up with. Especially the stretched mouth and the craziness and the colors, the pink and the purple. That's just a sequence. It'll reset. And the door also closes behind you. It's hard to do mirrors without doing actual mirrors. So doing metal and then doing it broken by doing translucent triangles, good enough. Hey! Oh, that's the tricky thing about this door. It doesn't make a door close sound, and it closes really quickly. So it's basically timed so that when you step in and trigger and watch that sequence, this thing's going to close. You don't even know it.
Yep. The idea is that when people go in there and see that guy, they're going to want to leave immediately. So they turn around and it's like, oh, the door's closed now. Didn't hear it close.
Slam their face into the door. Yes. The clocks keep time, right? We advance them as we go?
I don't know if we did that here.
Okay.
Can't remember.
Because I think the one in the foyer was midnight. Although this would be unrealistic, too, if it was only a few minutes later. Because who knows how long you've been in the blood room before you got fished out by the nurse. Yeah. We go in here. Also, I like that this is a hub where you have multiple doors to go in before you have to kind of go anywhere. We'll go upstairs before we go and proceed. So we come in here, there's a couple steps down. I like the red and the purple light. And they kind of pulse and glow because these are the lanterns I made for the underground. Just, kind of interesting thing. And you got these big doors ahead of you. And this great the Minecraft zombie type sound just jumps out. And that's personal. And then you got these great big doors. And you're like, oh, but they're chained. Well, let's try them anyway. I love it. Ever since you did that door. Nice. Ever since you did the door at the prison in Haunted Woods Trails 2, having a door like this that physically moves forward like it's being pounded on from the other side. I love it. I love that effect. It's in your face.
It's so good.
It gets you. It gets you good. All right. And I like having like the change in height where you have to take a few steps down in here.
Yep.
And I feel like this door would lead to a whole nother section of the house. Or maybe an outdoor area or something. This has that kind of garage feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, in my mind, because when I made this door,
yeah,
I don't know. I think I picture it sort of like either as like a kitchen or a loading bay or something.
Ah, okay.
Just those kinds of doors.
Okay.
With those, I don't know, very industrial look to them.
True. Yeah, plus we got the big pillars keeping everything together.
Yeah.
Cool. And this texture we use everywhere because it's the only brick texture in Anyland. So it's just really easy to just slap on and adjust for size. It's all over Ravenswitch, of course. Mm-hmm. So we'll go upstairs. The crazy spiral staircase. What did I make the spiral... Did I make the spiral staircase here? And I've reused it? Or did I grab this one from some...
You grabbed it from Club Confession.
Club
right?
Confession. Yeah, that side room. You're right. Yep. So, yeah, because I had a heck of a time getting this all lined up correctly to get up there. That's what it was. You're right. So, just a rickety spiral staircase kind of thing. It's all metal. I like that look. And you see that. And you can't really see that from down there when you come in. So it's hidden but not hidden. It's just line of sight broken, which is nice. Freaky. I was 100% going for the freaky factor of, yeah, there's a body who's crucified. It's just a torso. He's missing his legs, and there's blood painted like wings, like some sort of weird, super weird symbolism, but don't ask me what it's symbolizing. There's a book here that flies out and snaps out, which is fun. And this door we boarded up because when we did, I think it was when we did like one of the final passes here, we decided that it was too linear in here and that we wanted to throw in a few more doors to make it look like the house is more connected to other rooms and other floors and other hallways. So there are a couple places where we threw in a door and just made it inaccessible. In this case, boarding it up. Back in the foyer on the second level, I threw in 2 doors as well, like that are just locked. Because, if you remember, when we were first talking about this and first designing it, I thought we could do 2 separate paths, completely 100% don't crisscross or crisscross between like super crazy heights just to look over. And we were going on and on with this for a couple months, and it was like, wow, we threw a lot of quality into this. There's no way we have time or energy or ideas to do a whole second path, a second house, basically. So that was, I remember doing that because I put a door that was going to be up. You were going to start in the attic in that case and then make your way through a house.
Right.
Yeah.
We ended up using the attic
at the end.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end.
So while we're here, How I Did It by Victor Frankenstein. And of course, Summoning for Dummies. You know, reference for the rest of us. Gotta have that. Oh, Don't You Dare. It's a door. And it literally says, don't you dare. You know what's got to be done.
Don't you dare.
You gotta. Classic. And you can't trigger it again. And it's personal. So if you touch it, I don't see it happen. Which is great. That's just a very, very classic haunted house. Drop wall, scare, wall goes back up. The door doesn't even open like a door. It just literally drops. I dig it. It was meant for the jump scare. There's that book again. Boop. Cool. Yeah. So this guy, I don't know, just meant to be freaky. He is physically correct, physics correct, because the chain is holding him up by his armpits and his wrists. I guess rigor mortis set in to keep the candles up. All right. Now we should go down and down to your elevator.
Some more overly complicated.
You're smoking my... You know, I don't smoke. Random cabinet and cabinetry just to fill in the space.
Yep.
And people probably never notice that I keep reusing the same ugly wallpaper texture, sometimes in the exact same colors.
It's very ugly.
It's so ugly. But that was the point. That was always the point. All right. So we've gone through here. And the blood arrow again shows this is where you should be going. So we'll go. Whoop. Okay, I'm going to turn this off because the lighting is better. Yeah. And we go down. Service elevator. Oh, I love the lighting effect. Oh, it's so wonderful. I'll step in and you can trigger it like we always do. So it's a nice basement. Reminds me of my own basement that I grew up with the stairs and the poles and whatever. But yeah, you're just supposed to come here to the elevator. Your elevator.
So the doors close, and once they're closed, we have now been moved.
Instantly,
There's
right?
no actual movement. It's just an instant teleport, and you're moved. I just do the sound effect to sell it.
It's beautiful, the sound effect.
It is horrors beyond our comprehension.
And the doors close just in time.
And then the correct floor.
Blood arrow, so you know you're here. For real.
Yep.
Step out, don't linger. Ooh, symmetrical book stacking. No normal human would do that.
Nope.
So you spent many nights getting that elevator sequence correct and unbreakable.
It's still pretty breakable, but
Is it?
I minimized. It was sort of like I picked the lesser of like 5 evils.
To show how many iterations have gone through in that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's very easy to break that. If
Yeah.
you try hard enough, but oh well.
Because you.
I always kind of dig myself into a hole with those sub thing.
Yeah, and the super
Teleport
creative awesomeness.
tricks.
Yeah. I know at the button here on the where we came from, and I'm going to point up because it is technically
Mhm.
up, and you did technically go down.
It is, yeah. It is actually a whole vertical. Actually, no, it goes up. The second floor is up, down and back,
Oh.
and then this floor is forward and down.
But you used the untween sub thing effect.
Yep.
So yeah.
So you don't
it
notice.
didn't actually move. I know when the sequence is happening, you had a sign that pops up over the buttons. That's like, please wait, or something like that.
Yeah. So I'll just explain the reason I use the sub thing, teleport, instead of an actual teleport.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to, whoops.
Hey, get over here.
So let's say you have 2 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
This is you,
Yeah.
and you want to teleport them from here to here.
Sure.
If you're standing here, and you say teleport them here using a send onto script,
Yeah.
then it would just send them onto the assigned center point,
Of that
which
thing.
and it'll make a whoosh noise.
Right. And if there are
So
multiple
you'll get
people.
that, so you'll be standing here, teleport over here, and it'll just put them dead center,
Right. All of them.
and everyone will overlap.
Yeah.
If more than one person gets teleported, because everyone gets moved to the dead center.
Yeah.
However, if they are standing on, let's say, an invisible sub thing,
Yeah.
which then gets moved like this, and they're standing here, and like there's another person here,
Mhm.
then this gets moved onto that.
And each person.
They stay on the
Yeah.
exact spot on that surface,
Yeah.
which allows you to teleport people in things like an elevator, and they won't notice it really.
Yeah,
It's
they won't notice they
silent.
moved.
They don't see it, and they don't get moved.
Yeah.
If they do, but the floor underneath of them gets moved.
Yeah. Everything relative to
And-
where they were.
It allows you to do some. Yeah, it expands the potential of a teleport trick
Yeah. Yeah.
with the trade-off of it being absurdly complicated to script.
Sometimes. Well, I mean, if you're
Because
doing a
some
whole.
things-
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I did the ticket booth, it's literally just when touches the
Anyway.
invisible block, then tell the something to move.
Yeah.
Wait a few seconds and then move back. But
It's
you
the
did
big
this whole
events
sequence. Yeah.
that need a lockout. Yeah.
Lockout. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah. Because you need to lock it out because it needs to go through the entire sequence
Mhm.
and then reset. And it can't be stopped and it can't be interrupted at all.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. One thing I want to show, because we always do Easter eggs and people don't even know it. This is uncollidable. It's a skull. There's a skull inside this barrel. Ooh, I'm all
Whoa, the
turned
drop
around.
frame is killing me. I'm
Really?
probably gonna have a bit of a delay on my voice.
Okay. That doesn't seem like it. Anyway, blood arrow, door. Oh, doing the coat or cloak hanging on the
Has
chairs.
that ever actually gotten anyone?
I don't think
Can't
so.
remember.
I think people just kind of like steam forward. to the door. It's subtle. I like subtle, though. And, of course, the ring. You were bopping on that earlier. We always put an Anylander ring here and there. Because not everyone makes it. All right, so moving on. Oh, a little doll on an altar. Huh. I love that effect.
That usually gets a laugh.
Yeah. I mean,
people.
it is silly. I mean,
It's very silly.
it's not like the doll looks particularly real or anything like that, so I don't expect anyone to think, But yeah, this room is super basic. The walls aren't even colored. The floor is wood and has all the red dots for blood, which you'll see in a moment. The altar, she came back. No one usually stays long enough for it to respawn. And just the head popped. That's great. Oh, nice. Anyway, designer commentary thing. You don't need to make everything super detailed if the focal point is right in front of you and then you're supposed to move on in an experience world like this. So that's the effect for this room, and then you move on to the freaky blood sewer pipe hallway thing.
We do have a lot of blood.
There is a lot of blood in our worlds. We should give it back sometime.
Donate it.
I mean, we've been harvesting for years.
They'll be so thankful.
Yeah. I mean, usually when I go to a blood bank, I'm withdrawing. So, it's nice to give it back. Anyway. So, yes, there's blood here. And as you can see, the brick texture has blood in the grouting, which is kind of a neat thing to suggest that the blood level goes up higher from time to time. Neat thing here, I've explained in one of my tips videos, but you notice there's no dot on the end of my teleport beam because you can't see it because it's going to be bloop, in. Because you're down now. Like I'm waist high. If I do this and switch to... Oh, wait. I haven't used external view in a bit. Boop. Oh, we're going to get the flyby. Well, this is good because now people can see the void.
Just how
There we
far
go.
it goes.
Yeah, kind of, real quick. So now you can see we're waist deep in the blood, unlike Doom is knee deep in the blood. And if I look a certain way, the camera should clip under there. No, I had it for a second. Basically, as I showed in my tips video not too long ago, I think it's one of the most recent videos, the real floor is down here. Right there, real floor. And then this is just a thin slice that's completely uncollidable. That's it. Nothing crazy. And therefore, you're walking on the real floor, but you feel like you're now waist deep. Just super fun. So, as we go through, you see the sewer pipe up here, kind of implying that the blood pours down. It did sound effect blocks in multiple locations. So as you walk, it triggers a when neared bubbly sound. So further adding to the immersion that you're kind of wading through this water. Okay. And up ahead you see red and shiny, and you can't really make out what you're looking at, but it does not look friendly. As you get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, it's a whole bunch of bloody bodies reaching out. A couple of hands are actually moving. Freaky. And you have to go through these guys. And you're probably going to expect a jump scare to happen. But no actual jump scare. It's just really uncomfortable. Ooh, it actually is uncomfortable. You can see Delco's down in there. All right, yeah. I feel like I saw this in a screenshot of a game or something. Maybe it's something on DeviantArt I was looking at, where it was just like blood golem type things all reaching and super creepy, so I had to recreate it or do my own version. I just had to, because the creepiness. Sometimes making you go through a tight space, yeah, is good. So, blood arrow, ladder down, trapdoor, just simple, and door, and then people don't notice the 2 brickworks on the side, so I'll trigger it. Giant tentacles bust out in your face. Well, maybe not in your face, but ew. They're all wiggly and pulsating and veiny and just disgusting. And we were prototyping this, like, in this space that time. We're like, we need freaky things. So, teleport door. And to sell the continuity of the teleport door, the veins are busting through exactly where they came from.
Excellent.
Yes. And this, and it spirals and goes into the dirt ground because we are underground now. We took that elevator down several stories. Who knows how many stories, really? I mean, we only stopped at 1 floor, but we don't know how fast that elevator was actually moving. In case you got scared and dropped your lantern, we provide a refresher lantern. It is actually darker in this underground area than the other places. So, this door, again, is another one of those. You could have gone this way. There's more to see, but no, it's blocked. Sorry. And so you go this way. Oh dear. Oh. I just love this gag with the the handle.
A little bit of comedy.
Yeah, a little levity in the freakiness. Seriously, since we did that time in the underground, it's never not been fun.
Real fake doors.
Realfakedoors.com. Wait. So yeah, and then the door falls, which just makes it more fun. So here, speaking of the underground, I went and made more caves. This is super dark, textured with the dirt texture, so it's not meant to be stone. It's just supposed to be dirt. And and now you've got these vein things pulsing through, because what the hell are they, and why are they sinewy throughout the area, the space? We'll go that way in a bit, but here you turn and just, I love this. This is just a classic haunted house scene. I actually intended to do more of these, but I don't know. I just didn't get to it, didn't feel like it. The blood splashing in your face. You can't do that in real haunted houses. So I programmed this sequence so that it's when neared, I think, this spot, so that you will stand here and get just totally splashed by the particle effect as his buzzsaw comes down. I think the buzzsaw was one of the sounds that we had Philip add, because we needed sounds to make this happen.
It uses your laugh, which was added.
Yep. But slowed down.
Yep.
But yeah, this is just a scene that you'd find in a haunted house, but with more unreality. One placed red invisible light to give it a glow. There's not much to say about it. I just love the way it came together and doing the particle effect in your face, especially if you're sitting down doing this whole walkthrough. It's just stuff you can't do in real life. Yeah, okay, so God, it's so dark. I know this isn't going to come out on film very well.
What if I grab the
yeah. Good idea. Actually, I probably should use that for myself because it's brighter. I'll pull out the candlestick from Ravenswitch myself. We'll both carry these. This will be much better. Cool. So you come through here. You're going to miss this side, and we'll point that out in a minute. This is actually a door, but we'll skip that for a moment to come into here. This is just a nice kind of cul-de-sac room. The freakiness. This guy reaches out. Freaky sounds. You know, people are being buried in coffins. Skeletons and skulls. wrapped up bodies, which are being attached by these weird pulsating tumor things. Just freaky. Just classic haunted house kind of stuff. Love it. Love that sound effect. All right, so when you come out of here, you see what you probably would have missed because of the tight hallway. Blood falls. It always reminds me of Doom. But if you take a few more steps in, the darkness on the right is the eyeball that opens itself. And I specifically did this in the darkness. Yeah.
Making more use of the Vanta Black.
Yep. Because the eyelid is Vanta Black in the underside. And he's placed in a dark spot. And the light there is really lighting up this area so that I made sure it was dark so you just wouldn't notice it. Eventually the lid will close, I think. Blood Falls is obviously just a particle effect. Just enough. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's so freaky. Yep, just a nice, more freaky underground weirdness. All right, so the flesh door, the meat door. You got, again, blood arrow. You can hear a heartbeat sometimes. There's a face in it. There's an eyeball that follows you. Rib cage, intestines. Like, this is gross. And the door handle is a skeleton hand, so you know what to do. It yells. It screams. You come in here. There's more. More of the same. There's that. And there's this. Oh, there's a pair of eyes, and they come closer. Oh, and more eyes open up. So just adding more to the weirdness. I love it. That whole cave in there is Vanta Black, which was really hard to design because I made the cave like this, and then I was like, you can see it too well, and I wanted to hide the eyeballs. So as I finished it up and I was coloring everything Vanta Black, I was driving myself crazy because I couldn't realize where I was standing. So, bloody hand pointing the way. Bloody arrow. This is your body's zigzag. You just have to run through them. Giving the twist is just perfect, and the little sound.
Taken directly from an exhibit in the
oh yeah.
What's the museum called in Seattle?
You know what?
The Mopop Museum.
Oh, the Mopop Museum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they had the whole section of Halloween stuff. That was so exciting. We got to see, and I was taking pictures. I was like, oh, we have to recreate something like this in this year's thing. I was like, hell yeah. So just a quick zigzag with a pulsing red light. This is something similar we did in the underground. I'll put the candle through. It's just one of those things where it's pulls, cave, makes a sharp turn, implying there's more over there, but there's nothing there. I also like that I didn't do any jump scares in here because you would expect it. If you expect it, it's not really a jump scare, is it? So, we come through here. There's more of this fleshy freakiness. Neat, tall stairwell. Oh, and there's a door up there. Okay, let's quick get to the door. And the door vanishes. Nope. Where did it go? We don't know. So, here's another door. Oh, it didn't vanish. Okay. And the door vanishes.
Sorry.
Oh, well. Oh! There's an elevator. I guess, we'll take the elevator, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going up. Okay. And, wait. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's a floor. There's another floor. How many floors did we go?
Well, we're back up to the top now.
Well, that's good. So, pretty standard something riding elevator. What wasn't standard was the day... Oh, yeah, I get to watch it go down. The day before we went live with House of the Haunted Woods Trails 3 and made it public, Philip pushed a patch to an update to Anyland, the wall colliding update, which in itself is really good. It's a really great thing. It
Yeah.
used to be when you put your head in a wall, it would black out your vision, and you would stay there, and it wouldn't even be black. It'd be whatever color the wall was, completely in your vision, until you moved your head back. But that was tricky because you'd have to, if you went too far, clipped in or something, you could be totally, completely stuck. And if your teleport beam couldn't hit actual ground to teleport onto, you couldn't get out. It could be problematic. So the update made it so that when you put your head in, it actually teleported you back like 2 feet, 2 feet, which is cool because now walls feel more solid because you physically can't even penetrate them. However, as an unintended side effect of that, if you are on a sub thing riding it, for example, up an elevator shaft like that, where you're not in an enclosed elevator, but you're instead in an open elevator where the walls of the shaft of the elevator are exposed to you, and you put your head in, it'll teleport you back. However, in doing that, it does not keep you on the sub thing that you're riding. So people could get stuck in the shaft, which was a huge problem, and we kind of freaked out.
The dining room as well with the spikes in the ceiling.
Yes,
That's where it really broke.
That totally
That
broke.
really messed things
You
up.
wouldn't get teleported out. You would just be stuck in the wall of the ceiling, which came all the way down. You couldn't move until 30 seconds passed and everything reset. And then, people got stuck. When we previewed it, people were getting stuck in the shaft. So Philip was gracious enough to add a legacy option for an area to use the old original style collisions, which we ended up not using, as I've demonstrated a few times now, because our workaround was we made the walls of the shaft climbable. So if you did get stuck, you could just teleport onto them and skitter up, which is,
easy.
good enough. So, moral of the story is, if you're riding an open air elevator, don't put your head up against the elevator shaft. Why would you do that? But yeah, so that some of the trials and tribulations we have making some of these worlds when everything seems right until this is why we also like to play test them with a few friends first. So moving along, love the light sourcing, the light with the shadow, the beam. Just wanted to point that out. It's easy. You just do a placed light. So here, another teleport door. And we have a room with a light red kind of thing. Looks pretty normal. Ah! What happened? Where are we? Well, that's weird.
Same room.
It's the same room, but things are slightly different. Like, the legs of these... Whoa, don't fall. The legs of these chairs are weird. And, oh, wait, is this an Anyland ring? Where are we? We crossed over to the other side, didn't we? Okay, we just crossed back over.
Everything's fine.
Okay. Oh, well, I guess... Oh, shoot. We crossed over again. All right, let's move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another Fringe reference. Crossing over to the other side, using that kind of sound
effect. You convinced me to watch Fringe
Yes.
when we made this.
Yes.
So.
I'm so glad I did. Not a teleport door. We come into the factory warehouse kind of space. And this is another zigzagging path where I filled it with boxes. A refresher lantern in case you need it. Tall and high. I saw this in, I think it was Deadlight, which is a randomly generated spooky game. There's a part where you kind of go into this kind of space, but it's not. Well, I mean, it's basically this kind of space. It's stacks, but I think it was boxes and books and stuff, but kept it super simple. But just kind of neat. And we'll run through here. And then, oh, this guy is hung. Oh, and there's a chair, so Yep. He committed suicide. Poor guy. So now we make a U-turn and we come down here. And if I can hit it right, which I usually don't. Let's
It's
see.
hard to.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Nice.
So a little tricky thing, again, using the instant sub things using untweened, is there's an invisible floor plate there, and there's a when neared sub thing. So if you when near and you happen to trigger that at the same moment you step on the invisible sub thing floor plate, it actually bops you right there on the other side of these stacks. But now you're facing this way, but of course you're U-turn, so you have to go this way. So if you're running, like a lot of people do, and you've got friends behind you and stuff, you'll end up coming this way as they come that way and meet each other and be like, wait a minute, what just happened? And because it's dark and because all the stacks look very, very similar, you're kind of disoriented as to what happened, especially if you blink in that moment and you don't even notice that you moved. I made this space so that people could run ahead and then crouch in and scare their friends. I don't know that anyone has or noticed, but
We always provide it.
we always provide it. Oh, here's the one, the Doom reference, the UAC box, different from the others. I toyed around with ideas, kind of like you did in the wine cellar at the beginning, of having like something up there that moves or something beyond, because you could just kind of see through here when you're back there, but it just wasn't obvious enough. It's too dark in here, so we just kept it as a run through area. And because you have to get tight here and you know that there's something on the other space on the other side, you expect a jump scare here, but I didn't do one, so it just becomes a neat space. Teleport door, and this is what I call the Doom hallway, because anytime I use green marble, it reminds me of Doom, because Doom has lots of green marble in some levels. I saw a picture of, it was like a silly picture of, it was a stairwell, but you like go up the stairwell and come right back down after a landing, and you're like, why didn't you just go through here? So that inspired this U-turn area, although I didn't quite do it the same way. So you just kind of come up here, up the stairs, very, again, Doomy. It's symmetrical, and you come right back down. So hopefully you think, why couldn't you just go through there? Why didn't they just drill through here and make...
It's a load-bearing wall.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah, it's concave, and no. Okay. All right, so another teleport door into a nice little, relaxing room. We got the couch there. Some ugly wallpaper, but slightly different than the other ugly wallpaper that I normally use. Red candles, Okay, so these kind of rooms are just kind of extra rooms, some, fluff. Open this door, it opens slower. And there's a hallway, and there's that guy at the end of the hallway. Freaky. Take a step in. And that's it. He comes at you. He slides, but also teleports. And then the last time it happens, he doesn't show up here, but the sound effect plays right in your ear. So it's like he's inside you now or something super freaky. Hallway design with the torches, actually giving off light and dark areas. It's very simple because all you have to do is split the hallway floors and walls into different things because of how many lights can cast on one thing at a time, and these are all emitted. So it's very easy to make 3 sections of hallway and then just put a torch at each so that they give off that realistic glow. I'm not going to trigger the black and white hallway.
Okay.
Or maybe we can come back and trigger it. It's hard. Oh, you got it.
Okay.
Nice.
I triggered it.
I can hear you from my left side. Maybe I'll fly over there after because I do want to show it. There's an invisible floor plate that does, again, the untween something mover to a copy of this hallway where I recolored everything grayscale and turned off the torches. And it's extra freaky, and it's freaked people out, and that is the exact effect, especially because, as a bonus, in our Haunted Worlds, you can't do voice amplification. We have it here because we're recording, but so when you're there, you can't be heard. So you feel very lonely. So I walk down this hall. Oh, I triggered it. Oh, and I guess you came back. So yeah. Oh, so here's the grayscale hallway. It's going to be slightly not grayscale because this is obviously an incandescent torch. Yeah, added vines for extra freakiness. Grayscale version of the hallway. This door closes. The other door on the other hallway slams shut loudly. This just closes gently. I even recolored and redid the lighting on these torches so that they're white instead of yellow. And this door's spooky sounds. This door is open, where in the other one it's closed. As you get closer, I intentionally did this as a line of sight thing, so it looks like an empty room at the end of the hallway. But as you get closer, you notice the floating bodies. And they're all floating in a very limp kind of way. Some of them bouncing up and down. Not much to say other than meant to be freaky. You might at this point expect a jump scare, and none's coming because the jump scare is that you're here and it's freaky and the color's gone, even in this room. You've seen this exact bookcase multiple times already in this world, and now it's grayscale and it just feels weird. The fog effect as well just adds to it. So here is a door, and you open it, and instead of doing something untweened, I just did a normal teleport because you pretty much land in the same spot. And if you're really good, your hand might actually go into it and open this. But before we get there, I want to show... Hi!
Hi.
I want to show that this is the exact same room without the bodies, but in color. And this actually would be... If you go through the grayscale room, isn't open. But if you don't go through the grayscale room, which is actually hard to trigger, when you come down that hallway, the door itself opens up and light pours in. Just a little bit of a fun effect. I think there's also a phone. Yeah, one of the phones will ring in here. So this is just supposed to be an ugly room for you to continue on from the hallway. And as you do, yeah, pick a side. There's a huge meat cleaver, and somebody took out somebody else's arm. Blood, everything. Delco's going up that way. I'm going up this way. We'll meet on the other side. Nice, tight, weird. Ah, there he is. Where'd he go? His particle effect. Ah, nice. So I love this because they're just one-way see-through walls, which we love using. Another thing I have to credit to Doom for doing one-way see-through walls. Because when you come out, you think you picked the correct way because there's a teleport door and you're moving on. But if you turn around, you're like, wait, what? And it's two quads. The dark one overlaid on top of the light gray, the light brown one. Yeah, so the whole thing is symmetrical. I made it with symmetry. And yeah, teleport door. Okay, so we're in another hallway, and this starts what is a sequence of hallways which feel relatively normal, where a lot of the places we've been in have been weird, unrealistic, definitely not house material. These hallways, these sequences of hallways feel more like hallways in a house, and definitely directly inspired by the ending of Haunted Woods Trails 2. When you go into the purple house, the purple manor, you go down under the stairs and then through the underground weird areas, and you come up and you're in a hallway just like this. I think I used the exact same floor and ceiling and just different color texture of ugly wallpaper again. First thing to show is we got these light sconces, And that one bursts. I love burst light effect. Like, just burst light. You gotta have it. And in here is something I recreated in Anyland from my Doom level that Jinx Mansion is based on, which, coincidentally, in recent months I've been editing again because modern tools are awesome and so much better and faster than the archaic tools we had in the 90s and early 2000s when I was making them. So here we have, just what seems like a nice library, tall ceiling, double high stacks. Take a little jaunt. What was that creaking? What is that going on? What the hell? The room splits apart into the void. And you can actually get to here and get to here, but you can't get over there. And the only reason I did not being able to get there is because the reset of the sub thing it decays in its normal 30 seconds Anyland time, but like that was fun. But it won't pull you back if you're on it, so then you end up in the void. So this was just all these things are on one something controller, and when neared, when you're coming down the stairs, triggers it and does the sound effect, and then it pulls it away. And the floorboards that end up in the void are actually always there. Oh, that's fun. That's right, I did that intentionally, so at maximum teleport distance I can get back here, because you can't walk on there. But if I go back up, it'll do it again. I'll just show it real fast. Yeah, just directly inspired by American McGee's Alice game. I loved voids with the floorboards floating in the voids and just all of that. Love it. Love it. This whole room is encased in a Vanta Black cube, basically, which was, again, kind of annoying to make. Because as you do that, you can't see where you are, and the lights don't reflect on it at all.
It's always so finicky.
It's challenging, It's not easy, but it's fun, and it's worth it.
Yep.
So, move along to... nope, door here, dead end here. I'll come back to this dead end, because I don't think anyone notices what it is. We're getting flashes of lightning and thunder. I wonder why. Oh, because there's a window. And it's a living room. I'll turn on the lights. Oh, the lights are broken. Power must be out. Wait, how can the power be out if the TV's... Spooky. So these guys obviously watch too much TV. Your awesome lightning and thunder sound effects out here. And sometimes you can get a glimpse of the rain falling, the texture. And the rain, I hope it shows. I don't think it will. But there are trees out there.
It's tricky to see it.
Yeah. I can kind of see it, but I'm not sure if it's going to show out on film. Oh, there's another thing. That was, if you're a 3 or a 5, a couple of skulls come up floating from the other side of the couch. Anything special about the design of the lightning and thunder window? Oh, there they are. Maybe I'm a 5 tonight.
Well, it's basically a dome surrounding the window of Vanta Black. So that way when the lightning flashes, you can only see what's within that dome. And you don't see anything beyond it.
Which is the trees.
So I just made sure you can see the trees.
Yeah, you can see just the orange treetops. Also, we sunk the trees low to give this a feeling that you're at least 1, if not 2 or 3 stories up. Yeah. Cool. I love that lightning flash and the sound, like the thunder together is good. What was it about? So the static effect on the TV is a texture. It's not animated at all. It's actually a texture that's scaled really, 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 really small and give it an
Yep.
inner glow so it does that. Because we did that in Haunted Woods Trails 1 in the Hugo house. Static TV sound is just a loop. But then what we hadn't done before is this strobing effect with the flicker. And it's a spotlight which changes between 2 brightness levels on 2 states. I think it's untweened in like 0 seconds or 0.1 seconds. And it's totally frame rate based. So if you have like perfect frames, you almost won't even notice the flicker. But the worse your frames are, the more it flickers. So I'm getting between 93 and 110 frames per second right now. And I'm getting a little bit of flicker, just enough to make it actually feel real, which is awesome.
Yeah, when I come over here and look at you, I get 90, 93, 94. Yeah.
Sure.
And I get the flickers very like on off.
Yeah.
Very kind of choppy.
Yeah. The flicker I'm seeing.
So around Vive or Oculus. I don't know how many people have a Rift anymore, but those refresh rates.
Yeah.
Would be lower, like 90.
It'd be more flickery, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, these poor guys. And my "Let's Get Smashed" on the T-shirt was a T-shirt I saw at like a Spirit Halloween. I was like, oh, that's such a fun, like, let's get smashed into pumpkin and the double entendre with getting drunk. I was like, I didn't buy the shirt because it's just silly, but
Yeah.
we'll make it in VR. Okay, so door off its hinge, just weirdness, just weirdness for the sake of weirdness. Light switch still doesn't work. So you come out here. There's a door, a hall with an arch, a bookshelf. And I'm going to go this way first just to show bookshelf. And then, what? How'd you get over there? Wait a second. What? Wall. It's another see-through, one-way see-through quad wall. I don't think people notice, but you can go through here, you go through here, and you're back here, and you're back here. I just like doing the extra weirdness, things like that. We've reused that exact same effect this past year in Castle Ravenswitch. Before we go in the red door, I'm going to go for the arch to trigger the event. Boom. Looks like we're not going that way. I like that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I'm going to show this first before we do the red room. But here's the bathroom. And there's a door there which doesn't work. It's locked. Note, it is locked. It doesn't work. And that's the path we're going to go in a bit. Blood arrows. But first, I want to do this red room. Because I'm very, very, very... Where'd you go? I lost Delco.
I'm in here.
Oh, okay. I want to show this because I'm actually very proud of it. Black and white room. I showed this off in one of my tips videos about shadows because the shadow under this round table, under the bed, and I didn't point it out in the tips video, but the shadow under this dresser is fake. They are not actual shadows. They are translucent, dark gray parts. Super thin, fake, look convincing. Very, very proud of it because it's so convincing you don't even know it. Okay, anyway. Bloody hand, dripping. Door I came in. Door back here with the bloody hand, the drip. Wall with a window. Window's kind of weird because I feel like the bathroom's right on the other side of the wall. We'll find out in a minute. Open the door. Brick wall. Open a door to a brick wall. I love that effect. I don't know why. It's just the silliness. Perhaps this isn't the way out, the sign says. And I did some popped out bricks to give it a better feel than just a texture. So perhaps this isn't... All right. Well, okay. I guess we're not going that way. Well, wait a minute. Where did the door go? There's just a sign that says, "Hello again, Jinx. Enjoy your stay in my..." Don't look behind you! Of course, you're going to do that. there's nothing there. But now there's a door. What? You open the door, and we're in the bathroom. Hi.
Hello.
So I'm really proud of that whole sequence that I came up with. I remember I modeled it in the hallway. I was like, oh, I want to do this thing where it's impossible. And using the textures in there, that's fun. The very plain textures really helped make that effect more possible, make it easier. And it's just a sequence. The notes are when looked at, then tell the doors to go away or appear and all that stuff, or wall parts. Super easy. Super duper easy with some things. We have stuff floating in the bathtub. Ew. Ew, don't touch that. And I really like how you did the curtains here with the overlapped translucent, because it looks like a plastic curtain. Good stuff. So bathroom's broken out into another behind the walls thing. We've come a long way. And it seems like we're always going through behind the walls sections of the house, which helps break it out because you couldn't go through that hallway and stuff. Chains. Okay. And rats. I think I am a 5.
Great sound effects.
Yeah. So the chains, it's just great because it's when near plays the chain sound effect. And it's just fun to walk through. So here's another broken out area of what apparently is a broom closet with the eyeball and a little spider webs. So we'll come out here, teleport door. I like, sorry. When we come out, you hear clunk clunk of that door, which is going to draw your attention. But first, you might notice there's a bright light and more furniture blocking the way. Oh, wait, who is that guy? He just turned out the light. I just like that simple effect. So, there's more house, apparently, and you don't know where you are. And this is another locked door, same deal. You don't know where you are relative to things. So we'll go in here. There's a witch. We've done witches before. And then there's freaky heads glowing up in there. And I remember I did this room. Hey! I remember doing this room while you were on vacation, I think. And
Yep.
yeah, I just had that one Happy Halloween song on loop the whole night while I made this one song on loop. I was just like, I was in the zone. And that's when I came up with this. The spikes that only trigger when you're among them. Bloody and everything with the loud pop sound as they come up. The sound alone is a jump scare. And then these coming up around you like, very proud of it. I've used that pop sound. They lower back in, but not all the way, just to remind you of what happened. Yeah, the heads in the glowing green boxes are super freaky. They follow you. This room also is very doomy to me. And maybe a bit heretic because of the wood stuff. It also, we were talking about this room and how, wouldn't it be nice to do a castle for Halloween? Which we didn't do the next year, but we did last year. You can go up these rickety steps and take a look at the witch, and she will follow you. And notice her eye sockets are plain, and she's got eyes in her hands and stirring the... Yeah. Okay, you're weird. And this is before I did the head not being able to turn all the way around like I did for Castle Ravenswitch and Castellan. And I said, this time the poison will work on Jinx. As I said, I really like the home person text tag.
Mm-hmm. Someone's after you on this whole floor, really.
Yeah, I mean, you really feel like it. Like, yeah. Did that pop for you?
No.
Okay, so I'm a 5 tonight, actually.
Okay.
That's why I saw the skulls behind the couch, and then this popping, so it doesn't pop for everybody. All right.
Someone's must be a 3.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So here we have the art room. Very, 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 very similar to the Zork White House area that we made.
Yes.
I just I just really liked the idea of an art room with the paint splatter everywhere. I don't know, it feels like something you would have as a room. Little stool and oh, I know the truth now. Somebody painted this. Ah! And then the spooky sound effect, it has all the freaky extra writing. Again, when looked at, does it. What's fun is the paintbrush is neon green and all this freaky stuff that appears is neon green. Little details like that. Also, I think this is about when Philip did add the sound effects for the doors for us, the extra creaky ones. We started using that more often. And another thing that we started doing in I think it was this world, was the door closing sound effect, where it goes kaplunk when it actually comes to a close, adding a little more immersion to the realism of the doors. So
Yeah, that's like halfway through this world, because I remember back there it wasn't doing that.
right with the real doors.
We didn't retroactively add anything.
True.
Oh wait, now that light just went.
Did it? Oh, so maybe it
Yeah.
does that all.
Cool down.
The cooldown, but it might
Is
be
it not
personal.
personal?
Or that might be it. Yeah.
It's not personal because you've triggered it and I didn't.
Right. Okay. So now, stairs down, very dark. I just picked a random texture. Again, you're not looking at the textures, so texture to make it not look so plain. And you can hear the rain. It must be raining now.
Yes. Yeah.
I can definitely hear it. I can definitely hear it
Continuity
that
thing.
way. It's definitely coming from in front of me, but to the right. You can hear it. But this is a teleport door. But sound effects for
much further
continuity.
away, right?
We're actually really way further away than that teleport right there is leagues. And we come outside and you're like, oh, it's pouring rain. It's still thunder and lightning out. Oh, okay. Well, the street light. I see a tree, a little path. Okay. This. Okay. Oh, and then of course you did the extra raindrop effects.
I went overboard.
You went crazy
with
awesome.
This whole area.
We'll go out there in a second. Just want to show the candy, and to add to the whole Halloween myth of poison and check your candy and stuff. The poison bottle, Delco's poison bottle, with Delco's needle in the spook bars.
Mm-hmm.
And, these are real spook bars, made with...
Yeah.
Made with real souls. Delicious. You can grab an umbrella if you want. It's functional, but I won't because I have this. And we're going to go outside. Do you want to talk about the rain and all the major particle effects?
Yeah.
The
So
floor
there's
and
a
all?
distinct lack of candles in here because those are particle effects.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, huge drop frame.
Yeah, I noticed.
Okay, I'm back now.
Okay.
All right.
We'll just-
Yeah, it's particle effects are kind of generally looked at as very unwieldy and broken,
They need to be wrangled.
but you really just got to know how to wrangle them. Yeah. And once you can figure that out and get them, constrained in a specific area, then it's workable.
Yeah.
And I kind of did that.
Yeah. So
This is
it's disorienting
pushing it,
looking
though.
up. Oh man. Yeah, so we're in a courtyard that's several stories high outside, obviously. The rain coming down from the darkness above. But you also did the extra rain droplets here off the windowsill ledge. And then all the water splashes on the ground too. It just adds so much realism. Whenever I come running through here, I feel like I'm in a torrential downpour, and I want to run to that doorway.
yes.
Like, it really feels that way. So yeah, we did hedges, path. You're not supposed to linger. There's nothing going on in here but the oppressive rain. So go through. You won't even notice unless the lightning hits at the shack. You can actually walk over here. Oh, hey, I did the... It's been so long since I don't just run through here that I did that again. Because this was going to have a jump scare in it, but I just didn't want to be in the rain. The virtual rain that feels so real that I don't want to be in it. And again, you did the rain coming off the ledge. Extra dripping. Alright, so you come in here out of the rain and you feel safe until, oh, there's a clown. People don't like clowns. A lot of people do not like clowns. It's just like a human thing. Before I trigger him, I just want to point out the room, the second story, the balcony, just giving you a more multi-level house feel, which we'll see in the PT hallway. I did the same thing up there. So let me look at him. And he gets freaky. And he's got friends. And they all look at the nearest player. And they are all super freaky. Intentionally to be freaky. And this guy, because he's too tall. Because he's bent knees and he's still tall. And he's pointing. Yeah. And it's just, get out of here. You're not supposed to linger.
Why would you want to?
You don't. So here's, a stairwell. Just a tight stairwell up. And notice you can hear the lightning and thunder because up there, but you don't hear the rain so much because you're stepped away enough. So we come out here. And, well, shoot. The light's busted. There's a ghost. But another normal looking hallway.
Yeah.
I decided to yellow, some pale yellow to brighten it up a little so it's not super duper dark. Change the architecture a little just to make it more interesting. So go in here is a bathroom that it's been slimed. It's been really, really slimed.
Darn. Mood slime.
Mood slime. For sure. You can tell because it's purple. I'm not going to use that bathroom. At all.
No.
We'll just move along. We'll move here, for example.
Yes.
Into this kind of a drawing room. You kind of chill here, get a drink. There's another phone. And, oh, hey, this guy's reading a book. Oh, hello. Well, what's the book say? How to be a skeleton in 2 easy steps. Step 1, be a skeleton. Step 2, don't not be a skeleton. Step 3, tap the other page a few times. I think he's a skeleton. I like the fun, weird things like that.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you're not sure if he's supposed to be a silly prop in a haunted house or if he's a real skeleton.
Yep.
So we could point out the skylight. You did the raindrop effect because it's still raining. And the god rays, which is cool.
I love those god rays.
I do too. Oops. Coincidentally, it's midnight. Oh yeah, if you take one of these shots that's left for you, the wine bottle falls. And if you come over here... Personal. Oh, it is. Great. And of course, the smashed bottle of wine. And you use the coffin lids as shelving, which is great and subtle. And let's go into the Monster Mesh dining room. So here we have another dining room. And this dining room features our favorite monster. We have a troll, which is modified from, again, the Zork White House. We have a vampire, very classic Dracula looking. We have some food. Not edible, apparently.
Not edible.
So he can skitter. We've got a Frankenstein monster. And we've got another witch. We assume it's not the same witch, but who knows? Yeah. She's about to kill a bat, I guess. And outside again, you can see that it's raining, lightning, thunder. Good stuff. And of course the skylight here. Same deal. This I'm not going to go through, but it's a sliding door to the kitchen. We're going to take the hallway to the kitchen.
Yes.
First... Oh, does this growl at you?
It's a number thing.
Okay, so I am a 5 tonight. You check the door. So, we'll go into the kitchen. It's a nice kitchen. Rattling. I just got hit by a can. Ooh, spooky. And there's a ghost with a cleaver. That's just a fun sequence we did for the kitchen.
Yep, classic poltergeist thing.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, the pans. I mean, we had to have the pans hanging because it's just classic kitchen style. For the mug that comes flying at you, or the soup can, I did a single thing that's always when faces player, and then in its sequence, it's already pointing at you, and it just emits the can with a pop sound with gravity so that it arcs properly. And this is just on a sub thing with when looked at and then skewed, so it always looks threatening. And then the meat locker, which actually you need to see here, is freaky freezer, and you've got your pulsing light again in there. I can just barely tell it's strobing. So apparently this place serves up people. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
This stove shows up in Raven's Witch a couple times. I was very happy with how straightforward it was. Simple make, but good to reuse. Oh, there's a head. A bloody head. Brains. Forceps. Ooh, it's a trepanning tool. Alright, so the only place you can go, because if you go here, you go to the sliding door. Everyone's looking at you. I'm going to take a screenshot. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, one thing to talk about. I'll reopen it. This is good for designing. Sliding door obviously goes into the walls. Duh, that's what happens. But to sell it, you put the void. Instead of actually making that space, you just make a void. So it's kind of like good enough thing.
Sure.
Yeah. So the only place you can go is here. It's another closet, obviously. Oh yeah, tappy glass.
A tappy glass.
I forgot about that. It's just super simple. Yeah, because many people would think to tap on the glass. Yeah. So here we have a closet where they're storing soup cans and wine glasses and bottles. And somebody used a buzzsaw to cut a hole in the wall to show that even here, there's behind the walls tunnels. And bloody arrows, you know what that means. Little detail, the blood is not between where the candle is. And the candle's low, so it's been melting for a while, burning and melting everything. Just tiny details no one notices. So this is really dark, and this is an effect I really like. When you can see it in not super darkness, it looks like there's a door in front of you. But as you approach it, the door opens, but it actually closes. And then the hands. I wanted to make hands that look like they're pushing out of the wall, and I tried that with vertex editing. I've never been happy with it. Still not in all of my attempts, so I just colored them. What's neat about this is similar to that one hallway in House of the Haunted Woods Trails 2, Haunted Woods Trails 2, is when you're far away, you can't see them. But if you have a light source, and as you approach them, they appear. They're just being lit, but they look like they appear because of the way teleport walking works. And every one of our Haunted Worlds has to have a flying banshee coming at you, so There she is. She's gone.
Classic.
Classic. Gotta have it. I just recolored that one from before. So you might think, oh, we'll go where she came from. I guess not. I guess not. So we'll go here. Teleport door. And this is interesting because now we're in a big space with a ladder and another refresher lantern. And a trap door up there. Now this is super cool because everyone loves a ladder with a trap door, right?
Yeah.
So it's a climbable, of course, because it's a ladder. And we'll get up here and we'll reach up. And oof, we come up. And sure enough, we're in the attic. And it feels very attic-y with the way the wood paneling is everywhere. And the triangle ceiling and these A-frame things. And the creaking underfoot with the when-neared blocks that does that. And we have furniture that's covered in drapes to keep the dust out. And these are just high enough. Or low enough, perhaps, that you feel like you're going to hit it and you might duck instinctively. Picture frames with no pictures. Just storage. More creaking. And then we had to block this one out to do the next effect. The God rays into the window, and you can see the moon. And what's neat is that's not the same moon that you can see when you start the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are...
Different mood.
Where are we? We are far back from the entrance and down, way down. But we wanted to have this cool shot, and with the God rays. And I don't think anyone noticed, but another Easter egg. It's the Smash Brothers logo as the shadow.
Ultimate had just come out.
Right. We were playing Smash Brothers Ultimate on the Switch. So we threw in an Easter egg of that, and therefore, God rays, lighting, all the things. Super subtle. So we'll continue on. Oh, and nobody notices the bats up here.
I don't.
Ha! Gotcha. That's why you gotta always look, because there are freaky things that might jump out at you. So here we go. More attic, more creaking. There's a phone, which that's the jump scare. That's the real...
That one really scares. That's the worst phone.
That totally is, because you would never expect it in the attic. You've by now probably forgotten about the phone ringing. If you're one of those. Skeleton blows up. Mm-hmm. And we got boxes of skulls and bones. The skeleton blowing up effect that you did in Haunted Woods Trails 2 was just so good. You had to do it again. You had to.
Yeah.
Oh, more creaking, getting louder. It's all to sell that you're on a creaky wood floor, of course, and to sell this whole effect. So you have a door, but you have a sign. You haven't seen many signs in this world, like poetry or warnings or anything. It's just you're in a house. Why would there be signs? So this sign, actually, I'll read it. Beyond this door, there's no going back. Death awaits, be sure of that. So gather your friends, including Bob, then stand together and turn the doorknob.
Bob's always with us.
I guess so. Bob the Skull? So, I mean, that seems silly because there's a whole poetry thing here and a warning and stuff, but it's just another door. I'll just hit it. Oh, but the floor comes out and you go falling. Ugh. Ouch. Oh, okay. I got a double teleport. That was weird.
I think that was a failsafe.
That was a failsafe. Oh, yeah. I can explain that, too. So that was just a rideable sub thing. You're all standing. Everyone in that little room is standing on an invisible sub thing. And it's slightly above the floor planks. So when you touch the doorknob, it sends a tell nearby command. And it tells all those floor planks to destroy themselves with whatever number of parts so that they actually break and actually fall with physics, like for real, as you are being taken down on the sub thing that you're standing on, the invisible one. And then when you hit the bottom, it plays a crack sound effect, and you're supposed to die, basically, or get knocked out, whatever. And then you wake up in this, again, it's a recolored underground mod room with a sarcophagus, I guess. So that normally works, and it's totally fine. There are times, though, when somebody makes it to the bottom and maybe they get a dropped frame or something, and they don't get the right teleport. Or I guess their vertical position didn't update at the time that they got teleported, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think there's a real reason.
I've never figured it out, right?
I think it's just the game being buggy.
Probably. So what happens is when you hit the bottom of that pit, there's a when neared. It's something like when neared then becomes state 2 in 1 second. When starts on state 2, teleport 1 on 2, and then the invisible plate that's here. However, sometimes when that triggered, it's like the person's vertical position hadn't updated to the floor of the pit and was still up at the room where the floorboards broke out under them, so that they wouldn't end up here. They'd end up at this spot, but at the vertical position way technically up there. So what I did was I made an identical room here that just said when neared, then teleport onto, and it's the same invisible floor plate here. Mm-hmm. So you end up here, and then you get a blink, and then you end up here with your friends. So as the fail safe.
Happened to you.
Yeah, that's what actually happened to me, which is weird because I don't think it, aside from like the early days, I don't think it ever happened to me again.
Yeah, we didn't actually see that until we released the world. And people came through. It never happened to us while we built it.
That's right. And that was also...
I think it may have something to do... A lot of the bugs may have something to do with whether or not you have the world cached. Like if you've loaded every area once.
Yes, because
which we
teleporting...
Of course have.
Of course. Teleporting a long distance, because every teleport and every teleport door is a long distance away, makes things pop in and render because they weren't rendering until you arrived, basically. That could be it. Yeah. So, you're in this, kind of mausoleum vibe place. And here's also where I started doing door handles that rotate.
A mainstay.
Yeah, which I started doing everywhere. Moving forward. It's just a great effect. Again, more immersion. This I call another Doom room because it feels very much like it would be in Doom. It's just a straight hallway. We got lots of coffins in the walls. Dirty floor, bloody floor. Skull motifs. One skull should be there, and it's actually down here. Like it fell, because this place is supposed to feel old. And this is the kind of thing where you don't know where you are anymore, again. Because it doesn't feel like you're in the house anymore. So, going through here, that's a teleport door. And you actually come up, because we were way underground. And here we are. We've got a tight hallway. Love these tight hallways. Just feel, ugh. And this clutter, boxes and stuff, and a switch. Like, okay, that's weird. You hit the switch, and that panel comes out, and then you pop out, and you see you were in a coffin coming out, and ta-da! You've made it to the end. This is the end of House of the Haunted Woods Trails 3. You're outside. The rain has stopped. The moon's back out. You knew that because of the attic. And so, this is one of the first things you designed in this whole world.
Yep. It was sitting at the spawn for a long time until I finally linked it up with this. We knew this was how it was going to loop back.
Yeah, yeah. Because we like doing these worlds that loop back to the beginning so that when you finish, you'd maybe go back again or just hang out with people who just arrived. Or the scaredy cats who never went. We're just hanging out at the beginning, having fun. We wanted to hide the exit so that you couldn't double back or anything, but make it look natural. So clutter looks natural, especially.
I could have just done the coffin vertical,
Yeah,
flush with the wall.
But that's
But,
boring.
Yeah, there's the tiny thing of making the coffin slanted like that forced me to do all that stuff surrounding it.
Oh, the clutter. Yeah.
And even then, I had to do custom vertex edited seals along the edge, so that way you can't look out or look in.
Right.
I probably didn't need to, but it's fun.
Yeah, but the effect is great. And part of the reason of doing all that too is because from that door takes you back to the foyer, and you can always actually get here straight from the foyer. So you could just hang out here and never have done the entire whole path. Extra bonus thing. This guy. Oh, graveyard sign.
Graveyard.
You want to hit it?
Graveyard 3.
Yeah. Every year, got to make it more interesting and more crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, and then of course we have our credits headstone, which has I did a sculpt of the house itself, the front. June 4th to October 19th. Of course, we did most of the work in August, September, and October. All of our RIP things, all of our jokes.
Just going to date the world.
Yeah, it really does date it because,
the jokes.
what is it? RIP Tony Stark, and I am Iron Man. So Endgame came out, that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, party stuff, fun stuff, the gazebo. I love this gazebo. It's just nice. Very classic. This is another thing I think I saw somebody's art somewhere where they had like the paper lanterns in a tree. And I was like, you know what? I could do that. I could do that easily.
Mm-hmm.
The fun stuff over there that you can ingest. And I need to update that. I think in the public copy of the world, I have the other potions. But potions to our other worlds, of course. And the guest book, which this was the world that came up with that idea. And it's just fun because, like 1999 GeoCities.
Mm-hmm.
You can leave a note and stuff and say, hey, I was here, what did you like, etc. It's always fun. I love when I log in and see people have been to one of our worlds, because this board is the same in all of our worlds now. So it's the same.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I want to go through the PT hallway, but we got to do it the right way. So we'll run through this real fast. Okay. And don't look. Okay, we're in the foyer.
Hey, let's go back there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, now that we're in the foyer, let's go back into the backyard, because you could always go back in the backyard. In fact, we even say no spooks, ghosts, goblins, gremlins, or skeletons. Shortest path to the backyard finale Halloween party space. We promise. Totally.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, okay. It's just a quick hallway, right? It's real quick. So you come in here, and you got the swinging chandelier with the creaky sound. And the light is just kind of odd in here. And I wanted this to just feel kind of like the PT hallway from the game PT, without copying it exactly, and obviously without going through all of the things. So you go here. The door's locked. They'll always be locked, by the way. The statue at the end of the hallway doesn't do anything. Okay. Radiator. You hear crack, and then like cockroach kind of things going up. Okay. Well, clearly, we're just coming right back to the backyard. Oh. Wait, what happened? This isn't right. We were just here. Did the teleport break? Hold on. This is exactly... Well, we'll just go to the end. It's fine. Spooky sound effect. Wait a second. That light wasn't on. Okay, it's not on. Huh. Oh, wait a second. Wait. That door... Is this a different color?
The what now?
I don't know. Are we seeing things? Where'd the door go?
I'm seeing something.
Oh no, the door's where it should be now. Okay. And here's this... Did he have facial hair the first time? The first 2 times? Okay. Oh. Alright. I mean, that's gotta go to the backyard, right? I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. I don't think we were in Kansas to begin with. Huh. That's a sound effect you get sometimes if you're a certain number.
Oh yeah, that one's freaky.
I love it because it sounds so real. Oh, yeah. Oh my. Oh me, oh my.
He has no facial hair, no face.
No face. No nothing. Red light. Oh, high five. Okay, wait a second. So now it's not swinging. It's pulsating. There are no doors or carpet. Creaking. Same guy. More creaking. Aha! I made it through. Love it. All right, we'll just go back here. So the PT hallway, it's literally just, 5 hallways I made clones of in a row in the void and just altered certain ones. The original hallway to the backyard was going to be just one hallway with multiple doors on each side, and each door was going to do something different. Like one would have the tapping, knock, knock, knock. One would have monster growling. Then I got the idea for the PT hallway thing where it loops over and over and over, but slightly different each time. It turned out to be super easy to do because it just make one hallway and clone it. Like the entire hallway is one thing, and then the only trick was the swinging lantern, moving that over. So, yeah. What else can we say about this whole world?
I don't know. It's at this point, this world's 3 years old.
Yep.
Almost.
Yeah.
So my memory's hazier on it.
Yeah.
I'll have more stuff to say on Ravenswitch or Castle Ravenswitch.
Definitely more fresh and different vibe entirely once we started making the Ravenswitches. We dug in deep into a totally different style and architecture. So that'll be the next director's commentary video we make. We'll do that.
Yes.
Let me pop into external mode so we can sign off. Oh, it's doing the
Oh yes.
the zipping through the world thing again. There we are. Oh, nice. I should really get this looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not healthy. Maybe I'll invent a potion to grow my skin back. Cool. So yeah, that is House on the Haunted Woods Trails, our director's commentary walkthrough as we went through it and explained a few things. Yeah, leave any comments, I guess, if you want to know how he did a certain thing and didn't explain it or why. Yeah, and future videos, we have Ravenswitch and Castle Ravenswitch to do walkthroughs of. And they'll also be very long form videos because there's a lot going on in both of those worlds. Lots of good stuff. So yeah, other than that, have a great night. All right, I think that's good. I'll go ahead.
Yeah. Are you recording?
I've been recording. Oh, we should tell them about the. Nah, we'll let them figure it out.